What's up guys? Today we have a very different and very special kind of video. I have pulled up right here my current most viewed video and also one of my personal favorites. And we're gonna do just like a little reaction to it. I know every now and then I go back and rewatch some of my old videos just to like relive the memories and kind of critique the video itself. So this one I definitely haven't seen for a few months, so I should have some nice original thoughts and things to add as we kind of walk through this video and highlight some of the key moments and maybe give you some additional information. So let's get this thing started. And here is the reaction to the abandoned high school with power. And here we go.
This building is over 100 years old.
No way. I am worried about the motion sensors and the cameras in here. Oh, look at what we found here.
At least one of the top. I guess a little bit of backstory to this. This was filmed very early January, and I remember I needed a video for that week. So this had to have been a Saturday. So I went into KC to try to knock off a few spots on my list. I got up at like 8 a.m., drove to KC. This was the first spot on my list. This came during what I consider like the height of my channel, and I'll get into that a little bit later, but this was just kind of during a time where every video that came out was just like a crazy cool place or crazy adventure or just something going down. And this was during the time where my channel was starting to really grow and I was starting to get more noticed. So I don't know, this video just kind of capped off a really like prosperous time in my channel, if that makes sense.
Top 3 best places I found in Kansas City.
It's a little cold out.
And I'm not even gonna lie, I'm proud of the fact that my most viewed video features a bit by Closer by 9 Inch Nails. That's kind of funny.
How's it going, guys? We are back once again in the KC Metro. This place opened in, I think, 1907.
I can practically see myself shivering there because
I'm hoping there's a way.
this had to have been one of
but
the
it hasn't
coldest
been
days I ever
abandoned
went
for
to
too terribly
explore.
long, and
I
it's
think it was
good
in the
shape,
single
so
digits.
It won't always work out like that, but I put my chances of there being an opening into here at slim to none.
Yeah, I
There's
had
like a
absolutely
side
no
section.
expectation of getting in there.
Didn't, unless that door opens.
That's why I had a list of so many places in case one didn't work.
Please. No way.
I was like so shocked that I didn't even initially go in, and I was almost worried that when I tried to pull open again, it wouldn't open that time. That would have been really embarrassing.
There's a camera up there. Not sure if they're on or not, but
So upon seeing both the cameras and the lights and the constant beeping, I was really faced with a very difficult decision
he
here.
was already doing that when I was outside. The fire alarm is silenced right now, that's good. System trouble. That's what's beeping.
I'm not gonna lie, I was only
That's a good
pretending to
sign.
know anything about that stuff, but system
I'm gonna
trouble
get a loss of
definitely
words right
didn't
now.
look good for it, so.
Right here is the gym. I'm convinced right now someone's either gonna show up and get mad at me, or someone's
So
already
this
in.
right here was when I was definitely trying to
I can't believe
finalize
this
my
right now.
decision on what I was gonna do here.
I'll tell you what I think. I think there's some work being done in this building, and they just forgot to lock a door. So I'm about to commit to this. I'm gonna go do this mission here. I mean, I'm already in anyway.
So I did a terrible job of explaining my whole mindset there, but my whole thing in that moment was that this is a place that's clearly under renovation. It's not really technically abandoned, even though it's still, run down and not used yet, but I could tell very clearly that stuff was going on in there, and I was taking a very big risk as to A, do those cameras work? Is someone going to be actively watching them and seeing me in there walking around with my camera and my flashlight? B, is there anyone in there with me right then in that moment, But it all came down to a what would I regret more? Trying to do it and getting caught, maybe got into some sort of trouble, or being in there in a giant high school right there in that moment and deciding to turn back and give it up. Now, ultimately, I decided that I couldn't just turn back. I had to do it, I had to risk it, because the place was clearly going to be amazing. And fortunately, as you probably know by now, I was able to pull it off without a hitch, but that was one of the tougher choices I've had to make in my time doing the explore stuff. So
Going on and off down there.
this is the point I did
And a
realize
camera.
that the cameras that were in there were actively
Jeez, I hope
working,
no one's actively monitoring those.
which made my decision even more challenging.
What's this?
So this room, I actually had help from people in the comments section. I didn't know what this thing was, this weird tube
What's
thing.
this little chamber?
And
I want to say this is some sort of
what the people in the comments were saying, and I am completely on board with it because even my high school had one, is that was some sort of like dark room for photography stuff. So originally,
Mrs. Heath's history class.
if you go into the comments of that video, the Mrs. Heath that's on that sign
camera.
actually left a comment saying that it was
Oh,
her.
thing's
That was
on.
that
That's
was
the red
crazy.
lights
I
on
couldn't
there.
believe that.
I feel like there's some areas I'm missing, but
So at this point, I was thinking that I wanted to be in and out of here pretty quickly.
Really quickly, so let's just
I was
take it to
thinking
the second
I just
floor.
wanted to take like no more
So
than
we
30
can see.
minutes to walk around and see
There's
things.
no going out this
I
way.
think as I stayed in there longer and got more comfortable and didn't see anyone and didn't think anyone was coming, I think I wound up staying there well over an hour, maybe an hour and a half. So look at that right there. I don't remember seeing that in the moment, but anyone in elementary school ever use those weird little scooter thingies?
Too often. It really helps like boost my self-esteem a bit because like outside of this, I'm like a really shy, introverted person.
So I was gonna try to get like deep on y'all with that little speech, but I got interrupted by the weird bell sound. And again, I have to reference a comment that got left. Someone had a theory that it may have been like the old school bell, maybe still on some weird timer,
really low beat.
which I guess kind of makes sense. It did sound like a school bell, but that'd be pretty crazy if like the actual
That
old
had to
ringing
be
of the
picked up
school
on
bell
camera.
was still
This camera has
wired
really
in there to
bad-
go off like that. Oh yes.
Oh. Oh, look at what we found
To
here.
this day, I consider this the best individual room I've ever found at an abandoned place. Even though this isn't really technically abandoned, but still, like, ever I've been, this is the best, like, individual room. This auditorium. I think the school was built in the early 1900s. I think it was like 1911. I don't know if that's how long ago the settings of the auditorium go back to, but I mean, this place looks straight out of like the 40s or 50s in that condition still, so I've never seen anything like it since.
The only thing that could make this better right now is if the lighting was a little better in here. You know, it's kind of dim, but that's just because it's early morning on a cloudy day.
Yeah, man, just imagine if it had been like midday with the sun out coming through those windows. The lighting in there would have been so amazing.
to be here right now.
We're still good. If I haven't seen anyone yet.
There was a scene somewhere in there that I cut out. Maybe I'll show it if I ever do another like deleted scenes video, but in one of those rooms there on that second floor, I found a sign pointing out the window saying "Smile, you're on camera." So anyone who was getting too close to the building from outside would have seen that. I think I made some funny comment considering that I was like already inside right there behind the sign.
Gymnasium 2? What'd I tell you?
Speaking of these
I told you there
gyms,
might be another gym in here.
once again referencing comments, people who actually went to this school found this video, and I'll speak a little bit about that later. But they were saying that at least one of these gyms, probably the first one I saw in the video, actually used to have one of those elevated tracks. You know, like the like a gym with like a track up above running around the perimeter of it. It had one of those. I really wish that it was still there when I did this, but apparently that got renovated out back in like the 90s or 2000s.
Pretty gutted. What's this? That's a lot of stairs. You have to lug your instruments up.
There's another scene right in those windows that I deleted because it was kind of like unnecessary drama, but I was getting all sketched out because of like some car that was parked out there. But again, I think it was just because people were using the track next door, because the track that's a part of the school was still like open to the public, I guess.
Nothing worth crawling through. I don't see anything here. Look at all the graffiti up here, though. All these people are like, "Hey guys, we made it to the top."
So I think that wasn't really like graffiti. I figure that was actually students back in the day who did that, because nowhere else in the building that I saw had any sort of graffiti markings on it.
For getting caught, and let's hope that no one is waiting at that door.
Yeah, that was the truck I'd been seeing.
Alright, so there's just the guy and his dog still there. I'm gonna hope and pray he doesn't have any sort of affiliation with this building, and we're just gonna go on out. So
I was so worried that there was going to be someone like around the corner waiting for me to walk out and like tackle me to the ground or something crazy.
oh my goodness, we pulled it off, didn't we? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go.
There's a certain special kind of relief that I feel that I'm sure most of you could probably relate to when you walk out of an abandoned place.
How did we pull it off? There was power
And
to the
I
building.
felt
It
some
was well
extra
preserved.
special relief
There
on
were
this one, because
working
that
cameras and sensors.
this was one of the more riskier
How
things
did
I've
we pull that
attempted.
one off? So yeah, here's the front of it. This place is absolutely amazing, and the inside was awesome as well. So now you've seen it. Let's get going. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Those are the missions I absolutely love.
Alright, so at the end of the video, time to explain to you exactly how this really elevated my channel and why this video even became my most viewed one. Upon uploading it, everything went as normal. I forget how many views I used to get within like a first day back then. Probably just under 100, I think, was what I used to go at. But it was the second day of this being out there that I noticed it just suddenly exploded. And I knew something was up because while it was like blowing up with views, and it got like, I forget exactly how many, it had to have gotten hundreds that first couple days, but while it was getting all these views, I was also getting a ton of comments. And these weren't just any comments, they were comments from people who clearly knew the building. Because every comment I was getting was someone who was explaining things about it. I was getting stories from people because all these people had been there. And it took me a little bit of internet digging to find out how all these familiar people were finding the video. And as it turned out, just by some chance, someone found the video who had actually gone there, and they were a part of a giant like Facebook alumni page for this school. Now this school has a rich history, so this Facebook page had over 1,000 people in it. And I was getting comments from people from all different years, like there's people who had gone there in the early 2000s. Oh, I can't speak. Early 2000s. There's people who were there in the 90s, 80s, 70s even, and even older than that. So when this video got linked to their Facebook page, all these people were there to like relive the memory of the building. And I was getting all this crazy good feedback. I was learning stuff about the building that I didn't know there in the footage. So this quickly became like my most viewed video. I uploaded this in January. Because of all that attention the video got, January to this day, January of 21, has been like my most successful month in the channel's history, all because of this one video. And it's never really stopped ever since then. Even though I know the views it's getting aren't still from that one group, it's just been steadily growing ever since then. I credit probably a few hundred views were from the posting of the alumni of this school, but it's up to 5,000 now. It's been just steadily going up ever since then. It's been, it's been my #1 hit. I don't know, it was just really cool that one of my craziest experiences, getting into a place I had no business getting into, even more so than, your average abandoned place. Ended up being really worth it in the end because I took a huge gamble there. There was no reason for any sane person to see all the threats that were in there, the lights, the cameras, the conditioning of the place and all that, and still go through with that. So to this day, I'm glad that this worked out. Let me know what you thought of this whole concept. Let me know in the comments also if there's any other videos I've done that you think deserve a little reaction to, a little bonus info like this one. I know there's several that I'd love to talk about more in depth again, kind of like this. But for now, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.